All right, shalom, salama, sayemi, shalom. Greetings, greetings all, greetings all. I pray you all can hear me a little bit better this go around today. Um, I was not, I did not plan to come back on today. I really did not. I had some things that I'm doing. Oh, you won't even believe the half of it. Planning that I'm doing on the continent. Next thing I know, I'm looking at some articles. I want to share this, excuse me, just so you all are aware. Shalom, Sister Stacy in the house. Shalom, Sister Jules, Sharif, Brother Calvin, Brother Charles, Manasseh, Sister Natanya, Sister Dorothy, Yahuda Ban, Yasharala, Roderick W, Sister Coco G, Shalom, non revisionist, Shalom. Shalom, everyone. Yeah, I want to share this article. Sorry, I just had this up. Here's the thing, sometimes you have to put all the pieces together before they give you all the pieces. And as you see the pieces being put together, you have to understand that the actions were speaking a lot louder than words. The actions were speaking a lot louder than words. When you're moving different things, when you're looking at the way that strategy was going on in terms of moving of military assets, positioning refuelers and other planes and aircraft in the area. There are things that, well, quite frankly stated, they're not going to tell you. And if they tell you, then they tell you after that thing went down. Unfortunately, this is the nature of the world that we live in. But the great thing is that we know, biblically speaking, they always provide their messaging is shadowy, dark sentences, shadowy talk, dark sentences. And so I have a couple of different articles, I have a couple of different posts that have been made on X. This one was from Mediate. We now have complete and total control. Trump confirms U.S. is part of conflict with Iran. This was as of today. by Colby Hill. This came out 12/11. This came out noon, less than 6 hours ago. President Donald Trump appeared to offer confirmation that the United States is now participating in Israel's attack on Iran in a Tuesday social media post. Amid escalating tensions and the exchange of bombings after Israel attacked Iranian nuclear facilities last week, Trump has faced questions about the extent of U.S. involvement in the conflict. In a new post on Truth Social, using the term we, Trump wrote, we now have complete and total control of the skies over Iran. Iran had good trackers and other defensive equipment, and plenty of it, but it doesn't compare to American made, conceived, and manufactured stuff. Nobody does it better than the good old USA. End quotes. Politico White House reporter Jake Taylor confirmed with the White House official that we in Trump's post is indeed referring to the United States. The Trump administration was wary of Israel strikes that set off the latest round of fighting, with the Secretary of State Marco Rubio was quick to insist that Israel acted quote unquote unilaterally. Unilaterally. Yet, as the White House realized the strikes had been a success, Trump publicly backed Israel's escalations, according to the New York Times. Minutes after publishing, Trump added in another post to social media, unconditional surrender. In another post regarding Iran Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Trump said he does not plan to take him out, kill, at least for now. But why would he say all of this? Here's what he said. This is the exact wording of the post. We know, we. That's indicative of the United States and Israel. I'm not making this up. You're seeing this with your own eyes. I'm putting my cursor over this. We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. He is an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out, kill, at least not for now. But we don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience, our patience is running thin. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Oh man, it sounds like he's. Give me a 1 if it sounds like he's talking on and speaking for the behalf of the Israelis. Or give me a 2 if you think that he's just talking about the United States. 1 or 2. I'm going to say, Mr. G, it probably is the time the Most High has stirred up the heart of the Medes. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, they're just saying in local news. Yeah, a lot of this stuff is It's happening. I want to turn your attention here. This is Hal Turner. Because listen, folks, you can't make this stuff up, folks. Oh, when Off Grid is out of YouTube jail, pray for our brother Paul on over there. You know, the Gentiles are really getting the surprise of their life right about now. They do not know what is happening. We, who is we? Trump's unconditional surrender. U.S. President Donald Trump said something on social media, and it seems curious. I had just read that. We have control. Who is we? It gets worse. Look at this. Unconditional surrender. That's war terminology. Did Congress declare war? And I missed it. This is Al Turner. We are not at war with Iran. Who is he speaking for? A lot of folks are going to be asking, what is going on? Why is that being said? Let me show you this one. Here's Hal Turner. And I'm going to show this to you. This is Fox, the unofficial, really the unofficial White House media agency. Let's just call it what it is. Trump convenes Israel-Iran Situation Room meeting at White House to weigh U.S. response. President Donald Trump convened the meeting in the Situation Room at the White House Tuesday as the U.S. weighs its response to the Israel-Iran war. A U.S. official told Fox News that strikes on targets inside of Iran, including nuclear facilities, are on the table. Why is that? Because they want to get rid of Fordow nuclear power plant or the Fordow nuclear facility. Again, I believe that those earthquakes and everything else were nuclear bombs that were being tested, nuclear weapons test. That's my personal opinion. And now, again, when Trump says that we're not going to go into war, you better believe we're going to go into war. The timing is when. And now, of course, this is all blowing up on social media. everywhere. And really, it's why not? And folks are voicing their concerns. You have this from the latest to the American people. If you want to avoid a difficult life and economic disruption, stop President Trump from entering a war with Iran. If he does, it will destroy you and plunge you into economic hardship. Honestly, I totally agree. However, that ain't the call. And it's not my call. And honestly, I don't have no dog in this fight. What's gonna be is what's gonna be. All I know is be prepared. Paul says it's not worth it. Maybe make it a punishment for illegally entering America for sure, but a standard policy, bad idea. I think he's talking about Russia. This one he is referring to the link below. If America joins the war and we are officially entering the World War III, and trust me, it will be very ugly. Let's all hope there will be a peace deal coming soon. Um, People try to hope that there's a peace deal, and I understand that. He's referring to crypto world. Iran begins preparing missiles to target U.S. bases if America joins war, entering another nerve-ending war isn't America face or first. That's the balance. Folks are coming through. It looks like a lot of bot activity. January 2025, AI will take over the world. AI is coming for your jobs. June 2025, real missiles. America entering Iran Israel war. AI's seemingly virtual collapse to real apocalypse. War came for everything. Joshua King writes, if America makes the mistake of entering this war officially, we will lose many bases and many American lives. I do agree with that. I'm going to say this. When they say, well, it hasn't been made official, let me tell you, even though it has not been quote unquote made official, there's limited conflict that the president is allowed to engage in. Limited conflict. I think it's no more than 60 days. From there you have to get congressional approval for longer term operations. And now when you did have the regime change and those regime change statements, if you make those types of statements, you better back that up. Yeah, go ahead, y'all. It's very real. You can post links. Okay, give me a second, y'all. It's very real. You have now been deemed a link poster. Oh. So yeah, the official declaration of war has to come through Congress. Again, it is Congress that makes the official declaration of war. So the president could declare war, but Congress has to ratify that. Well, whatever link you try to give me on X is not allowing me to pull it up. You get the free stuff out there over in the UK. I'm telling y'all are different. We get in this dictatorship, we ain't got the freedoms that we once used to have. Yeah. We ain't got that version. We ain't got the UK version. Brother Fastnick, well, how are we?
I'm
I
good.
said we as in we. Is we going to war, boss? Boss, is we going to I said sick, boss. We sick.
You know what? That's a. I'm 50-50, but here's the one thing I want to say. So one thing is Trump has always been anti-war. All of a sudden now he's like 100% pro-war, right?
Mm-hmm.
What people have to remember, Trump is not the one really calling the shots here. It's the technocracy, the people like Peter Thiel that put the money behind putting him into office that are calling the shots. And
Yeah.
and they want to collapse the system to bring in their AI robots and bring in the whole new financial system. They need this crisis.
Bingo. Bingo.
He's just doing what they're telling him.
To me, look, this is why I came on out here. This is why I had the live stream. When you have number one Fox Media, and then you have these other outlets. But I want to share this because let's just be real. Let me get this on out to. Okay, good. I posted it. All right, it's in the chat. Israel undermined Trump's position as Netanyahu signals country is losing to Iran. Israel's undermined negotiating position on Iran by attacking the country, which Iran partly blamed on the U.S. Netanyahu. On the U.S., Netanyahu is also signaling that his country is losing to Iran. An expert said, "This is by Jeremiah Hassel of the Mirror." Israel undermined Donald Trump's negotiating position with Iran and placed the U.S. president in an impossible predicament, both for his diplomatic goals and for his ego. An expert um, claimed. And Israel's primary goal in attacking Iran was to utterly dismantle its nuclear program and prevent it once and for all from producing a nuclear weapon. But Israel has fallen short of that goal, and it won't be able to achieve it without either sparking negotiations with Iran or involving the U.S. Actually, that was not the goal for Israel.
But Brother Karras, think about
But
this. Two things. One, you and I both know any reports that is shown to the public, whether it be news or articles, is what they want us to see.
Yeah.
That's one. Two, um, Tulsi Gabbard, who is now supposed his defense person, told him that Iran has no nuclear capabilities, and he's ignoring her because they
Hmm.
want to fight. They're looking
Exactly.
for a fight.
Well, and I believe we all see that the fight is coming, and it's not just coming, it's already here. It's just that you're not going to have tensions settle down because once they started shooting, once they started fighting, you ain't going to stop anybody. Once you start fighting, nobody's stopping. You could say that you're going to engage and try to stop the fight as much as you want. That does not matter. But you can say some things, you can do some things. Shoot, you can do whatever you want. But now a lot of people are understanding that, yeah, this thing is starting to get real interesting. Let me just, oh boy, let me show you this. I don't know if I saw this. This must have. So understand a lot of things that's going on in Israel is highly.
Supposedly, they hit the Mossad headquarters.
Yes, and let me turn this down. Not only did they hit the Mossad headquarters, they also already they hit Dimona nuclear power plant.
Which one?
Dimona.
Okay, I don't know if that's the one that I'm waiting for. There's two people that came out with prophetic statements, and this was 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, that this would happen between Israel and Iran, and they mentioned, I just don't remember the name off the top of my head. They mentioned a power plant that Israel is going to hit in Iran, and when they hit it, they don't realize the ramifications behind it. That's going to release nuclear um, nuclear gas into the air, and it's going to cause the markets to collapse within days. I,
Well, I said, well,
and the whole world is going to blame the state of Israel.
I'm gonna tell you this from Calustro Research. Breaking news 2 hours ago, he posted this. Dimona Israeli secret nuclear plant has been attacked. Damage done. NASA satellites are picking up heat. Possible radiation leak. My goodness. Mm, mm, mm. Oh my Here's also a picture of Dimona. And I saw this one earlier on Mahmoud OD. They're saying that the nuclear reactor is fuming on fire. And the proximity of the reactor where the missiles had hit had caused that explode or reaction. And here's from Weon. Air raid sirens sound in Israel's Dimona town housing nuclear power plant as Iran launches fresh attacks. It's 2 hours ago. Breaking news. Plumes of smoke are rising around the Dimona nuclear reactor area. Oh boy. So this reporting is going on out. They're saying this is from a Dr. Tariq Trambu. Iranian missiles reportedly targeting Dimona nuclear plant carrying 400 nuclear warheads. 400 nuclear warheads. If true, it's a major escalation. Nuclear radiation leaks can be disastrous for a small place like Israel, and not just Israel. That's going to be disastrous for the
Europe,
Middle East.
yeah,
Yeah.
Middle East and Europe.
All right. Let me see what I can uncover. Ooh. 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 Uh-oh. I was gonna say this too. All right, before I say this, from Brother Dens, before I say this, let me make sure I put my cash app on in here, because if just in case I get shut down. All right. Or
I don't
I
think this is
go
going to
to
be World War III.
Guantanamo Bay, or I get disappeared. Let me zoom in on this one. All right, Brother Dens, you gonna get me in trouble. I get any of those uh, Israelite bot uh, 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 royalties? 'Cause brother's gonna need some bail. All right, not funny. Just in, this is a tweet made not even 10 minutes ago. Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, known, has been rushed to the hospital in Washington D.C. Wow.
I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago, JD Vance came out and said, um, be prepared in case we need to bring the draft in.
Mm, mm-hmm. Mm. My thing is, if they've activated, if they as in they is Iran, if they activated their agents, was this an activation? He said there's a clip now. Oh my goodness.
Well, it just says that that person was rushed to the hospital. They don't say if they were like had a heart attack or whatever.
It says Iran did it. Some someone said Botox slid out of place. Someone said makeup poisoning. Well, too many facelifts. Oh well, those all could be plausible. Someone said Mossad did it. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of speculations on this. Okay, Brother Denz is coming through with the news clips. All right, let's see. Let's see how good that AI is. Oh, this is CNN. This is breaking news. Oh, this is straight AI. No. Man, they got that deep fake looking real good. Looks like CNN and everything. No. Someone quit Google. There, Priscilla Alvarez. Now it's the Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem taken to hospital. Hmm. We'll see. Let me see what it says. Well, we'll see. A lot of people always, say that everything is good. Yeah, look, it was probably real strong. I'm sure that they were probably drinking. How much whiskey did she have in her Yeti cup? Let me make sure. Let me get that clip to you all. This was the clip. How much whiskey was in that Yeti cup?
Breaking news just into CNN. Sources say Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem this afternoon has been taken to the hospital. We'll go straight to CNN's Priscilla Alvarez. Priscilla, what are you learning about this?
Phil, we're still trying to gather details. What we know so far is that the
So that's what I just played. I'm trying not to get any copyrights. Their hearts will fail them. Yeah. You said still suffering from that hangover from Saturday's parade, huh? You telling me that liver isn't the same as it used to be in her 20s? Fair use. This is for educational purposes only. Fair use. Sometimes people take these things a lot differently. We could joke with this stuff, but when you haven't had to, come through and deal with this, and this is your first time dealing with a lot of this, that stress will hit you. This thing is going to hit them. This thing has been hitting them. This is Katerina the Great the Second. She says Damona is quite a big target, 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. That is actually pretty good size. It's about little over half a mile. Even secondary explosion or fire can cause such a damage. if really there is a nuclear bomb factory in it, the world will see with its own eyes. Yeah, so we're gonna definitely be seeing. This is the top post. So I like to see the latest. Scroll up here. Let's see what the latest is looking like. So folks are saying it could be a possible hit. Folks are cheering on Demona getting hit. Okay. I wouldn't do that. I think the top ones are probably the ones that are the most relevant in terms of the timing and the value of information in that timing. I think these are just some old posts. Again, you will not hear a lot coming from out of Demona, and you won't hear that much even coming from out of Israel because of the amount of censorship. So you got to remember, even the folks that are taking these videos, they're taking it in at their own peril. What say you, brother Fats Nickel? Any movements on crypto? Because
Saturday that just passed, the 14th, a month from Saturday just passed, is the date that the U.S. banks are supposed to roll out the new ISO 20022 crypto initiative for all the U.S. banks.
July 14th, right?
Right, July 14th.
Not a coincidence at all.
And like I said, the people that backed Trump into power are the technocracy people. They are the ones calling the shots. Peter Thiel and all of these, billionaires. Basically, it plays out the 10 kings without a kingdom.
Come on. The oligarchy, the technocracy.
Yep.
Yeah, going back to Weon, they're saying air raid sirens. They're reporting on that. Trying to see if there's anything else. These are the pictures of what's going on in Demona for the smoke. I don't see anything else because understandably a lot of this stuff is going to be very it's going to be difficult to get information. Especially out of Israel. You're saying sirens are sounding in Tel Aviv. I do not doubt it.
So the name of the power plant in question is Bashir.
Oh yeah, no, they're going to try and go after all the power plants.
But supposedly, if and when this Bashir gets hit, that's going to cause the chaos that's going to cause the markets to crash and the world to blame Israel, the state of Israel, according to prophecy.
Okay.
If you believe that.
So that was a dream that you had, that your prophetic dream of what?
No. I didn't have this, but two other people 4 to 8 years ago had different dreams, and they both talked about the nuclear plant in Bashir. Two different people.
Let me get that up so folks can understand what that looks like.
I believe it's in the southern region.
All right, so let's say Iran nuclear power plant in southern region. I just don't know how to say it. It's hard to spell it.
It's spelled Bushehr.
There it is. Now, understand, Jacoba did a whole video. I want to say a whole video. He did like a series on this. A series. Let me blow this up a little bit more so you can. So understand, you have now, this is Kuwait to the left, Bashir, that's Persian Gulf. Straight below that is actually, that's Qatar. And I believe that that's Bahrain. That's right there. That's dangling right there in the island. And then as you go on over, you start moving towards the Strait of Hormuz. I believe this. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter how things have said or have been said, Trump is playing a very dangerous game with Iran. Well, Trump did say something about Iran, Joseph Conley. If you hadn't been here earlier on this broadcast, there were some very, very inclusive statements that talked about certain people that he was going to go after. And having control of the Iranian skies. You're saying that they're evacuating Bahrain. Let me take a look. Let's see here. Bahrain evacuation. So someone's saying this is semi near the truth. Trump greenlit the operation. However, Rubio tried to stop it by having a bunch of embassies. Iraq, Kuwait, Bahrain all issue evacuation notices a few days in advance. So, but yeah, Bahrain would be one. I know that they said it for Bahrain and UAE. But they didn't even give them time to evacuate. They said that for like not even a day. It was like 12 hours. If you didn't leave within that 12-hour window, you weren't making it. I guess supposedly. Boy, that does bring back some memories. In that building, that was like the little PX area, PX, BX, whatever you want to call it, right to the left, or to the left right there of the little flagpoles, ensign poles. I'd spent many a day there going to, grab some chow, and then where I had to work at, it was about a good 2 football field jaunt. And for PT, we used to run around the little thing. One lap was the equivalent of like 8/10 of a mile, something like that. It was really small. Not, I mean, comparatively speaking. So, just giving you my reminiscing of time in the military, because I had been deployed there for a couple of months.
I don't know about you. I personally do not see this as a World War III event. I just see this as an event that's going to kick in the new financial system. I think the World War III event is still a couple of years away.
Mm, well, define World War III, because you could actually say that we've been in war since 2022.
Well, my classification is I'm thinking us, Russia, and China all involved. I mean, we kind of believe that we have been in some kind of cyber war, but I'm talking about physical war.
Oh well, yeah, but everything. So a physical war, and let me for those that may not know, and I want to break this on down in the constructs of what leads to war, and how excuse me, and how war can get started relatively quickly. So the reality is that, understand, the war in Ukraine was really that. It was a precursor to the much larger scenario that we have right now. You weren't just going to have a war in the Middle East. You just weren't. Remember, everyone was trying to, bring the troop levels down. Everyone was trying to, have the peace in the Middle East, even though there wasn't. What people are trying to do, they're trying to stockpile. And as much as people were saying, well, we're running out of ammo, or the US was running out of ammo in Ukraine. I don't know if the US really had ever ran out of ammo per se, but I know that Ukraine was probably not getting the ammo that they had requested, because that the ammo stores and the ammo was probably being reclassified for this particular purpose. Make no mistake about it. I look at it like this. Yes. Are they going to have war? Shoot. Honestly, does a war, it's okay. Do you know that the Vietnam War was still technically not a war, right? Vietnam was still just technically a conflict, but they would call it the Vietnam War. It was actually a
Correct.
conflict.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? So, and that started because then what? You had to ramp up, you had to ramp up, you had to ramp up, and it was on the guise of what? Of security, right? And securing what? Southeast Asia.
Well, I don't know if you agree with me, but from my perspective, when I read Book of Revelations and it talks about a time where the blood is going to be the level of a horse's bridle, like that's my idea of when we're in World War III.
Mm-hmm.
When it's like the whole world and the main superpowers in battle, the kings of the East, Russia, us, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that, especially if there's a large contingent of an army that gets kind of beat back and beat down into, they're cornered.
Or
'Cause we,
when that event happens, America may have already been taken out, and America's not even a fixture in that battle.
yeah, I think in terms of World War III and Armageddon, as Pastor Rick Fletcher said, yeah, I believe that that's going to be different. Because remember, we're back in our land. We're back at home in unwalled villages. And then for a time, that's when the nations will have a what? A wicked thought in their mind. That wicked thought, can we get black folks back to, make everything great again? Can they get
Correct.
mega? They're gonna be mega magad, mega make Europe or maybe Wega, make the West great again. Who knows? So
Supposedly, this is partially to create a fraction because the MAGA movement is too strong.
mm,
Like I forgot who his father, but I didn't even realize this that Tucker Carlson's father is a big deal.
mm,
I don't remember who he is, but it makes sense because when you look at a lot of these people, and I was talking to Coco about this about half hour before your show. I can't think of his name, but the silver haired guy on CNN. His mom is Gloria Vanderbilt,
Anderson Cooper. Yep.
Anderson Cooper. So these guys, they come from old money.
Mm-hmm.
These are the ones making all of the decisions, and the people in the politics, they're just a puppet doing their bidding.
Mm.
And I guess like the one guy that I listened to, his thing is, hey, look at the oil charts. If the oil charts have not spiked, there was a line that he was showing. I was showing it on Yakova's show on Friday. He said that they've already pre-planned and pre-baked this in. If you don't see those oil prices go up, then they don't expect this skirmish to last.
Yeah. Exactly. Or maybe they're suppressing the oil prices artificially. You know.
Mhm.
So a lot of things you can. Yeah. When you see the money, exactly, you understand what's happening.
Yeah, because the bankers call the shots at the end.
Mm. They absolutely do.
This is why when once you wake up to this stuff, you can't look at what's going on the surface because this is what they want you to see. You have to, as Brother Yakobo likes to say, you got to play 2 and 3D chess and look at what's the real moves that really coincide with what they're showing you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because they're not going to come on out and just say, "Hey, we're going to war now." That's
Correct.
never going to happen. So you have to look at all of the indicators of what that truly means to be in a war scenario. you know um I would venture to say that 2 weeks ago, with the immigrants and immigration, that was the setup to make sure that there is a police presence on the ground, and not just a police presence on the ground, but what that police presence would mean in terms of civil unrest. And could one go so far to say, did that civil unrest, was that planned to see if and how black folks would react to this? And if that's the case, look, I don't know how much they will drill down, but here's the thing: we don't know how much they will drill down. We really don't. We don't know how much they'll plan. Look, if you know that this day was coming, you're going to try to make sure that you are orchestrating every single contingency plan, right, as close to perfection as possible. Because again, they're trying to survive. They know that they're going to be judged, but they're trying to survive.
Yep. And it's funny because the people who don't know any better, who look at the land of Israel as, these are the most highest people, there's actually more Christian and God-loving people in Iran than there is in Israel.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Now, I can see one of two things happening. Supposedly, there are American troops in the region that are unprotected. So if that's true, I can see them being hit kind of like a 9/11, kind of like a World War II, like a Pearl Harbor, to get the American people behind this, if they want to stretch this out. Or the second scenario is, as I mentioned, about hitting that nuclear plant in the southern region, that they didn't expect for that to do the damage that it did, and it collapses the markets. And the goal all along was to roll out the new financial system, and this was their event to do that.
Yeah, I would say that the value of the dollar is still continuing to collapse. That's just the reality of it. You're not going to feel that here in the United States because, we're more in the core, right? The outliers, they're feeling that. Here's something from a Syed Jawad. The Pentagon has placed U.S. troops stationed across the Middle East on high alert. This is as of 21 minutes ago. The American diplomats in the region have been instructed to cancel all public engagements and ensure they have immediate access to a secure location. Wow. Here's some Golden State Press. All U.S. diplomats in the Middle East are instructed to shelter in place and cancel all planned public events. That's 13 minutes ago from Golden State Press. Sprinter Observer. The Pentagon has put U.S. troops on high alert at bases across the Middle East, including the UAE, Jordan, and Saudi Arabia. That's the New York Times. U.S. diplomats in the Middle East have been told to cancel all planned public events and ensure they have a safe haven nearby.
Gold is up a little, and both the Dow Jones, they're all down.
Yeah, people are trying to liquidate some funds.
It's too late though, because it's past. The markets are closed.
Yeah, I know. Oh, they're trying to definitely do their orders and futures.
Yeah. now
the race to the bottom. Go ahead.
I was going to say the Asian markets are open, but
yeah,
or are they?
They'll be open
I'm not sure.
They'll be open like an hour.
Well, they open around 8 p.m. Our time.
Yes. Yeah.
But everything revolves around money. So when you mess with their money, that's all they care about.
Yep. If the futures are looking bad, something's coming, because everybody's got that. Hey, I heard. Hey, give you a heads up. This is from Indian blue check mark, all U.S. diplomats in the Middle East have been instructed to shelter in place and cancel all scheduled public events. So,
But everything that you're showing is all protocol. I mean, that's natural what they would tell all their people.
well, yes and no. You would still have diplomats out and about doing their diplomatic missions because they're diplomats. They're supposed to be able to move and work and operate even in a time of political instability. They still are required to do their mission. However, um, we understand that with troops and things of that nature, they're always going to operate with the level of operational risk management, some sort um, of other risk management that has the ability to know that that you are near the areas of shelter. This go around, remember the last time that Iran struck a base was about 5 years ago. And that was because of Qasem Soleimani. It was January of 2020. I remember that because I was on active duty.
Oh, that's
And
right. When Trump was in office,
yep.
that was
And
his first stint.
yes, it was. And everybody was like, did anybody get hit? Did anybody get hit? And no one got hit. This go around, oh boy. They deliberately, and the Iran even said it. They said we deliberately targeted away from areas that would have resulted in loss of life. So that was Iran. Now, with this one, Iran got hit. And now Trump has bragged about man, he just opened up the door with his mouth. Cursed is a nation whose king is a fool or whose leaders are ran by children. That's all up in Proverbs. That is all up in Proverbs. So when they see, because it really won't be Iran that sees it, it's really not going to be Iran that sees it. When Russia gives Iran the coordinates or the signatures, understand this is me. Everything that Iran is doing, everything that Iran is targeting, yeah, they got some pinpoint targeting. Yeah, kind of. I don't think, in my personal opinion, this is my personal opinion, I don't believe that Iran has that capability to target the way it's targeting. That's my personal opinion. I honestly am of the opinion that Iran is getting their targeting help from Russia. That's what I believe. So they are very good. They're being very effective because I believe that that was the training. Now, do they have a lot of good assets? Oh, yeah. No, they really do. But something like this, I believe they're getting everything through Russia. Russia, Russia, Russia. So that's what I wanted to come on up here and alert you all to, because again, actions speak louder than words. Within the last hour, now you have troops on high alert at military bases. You have diplomats on high alert. Because when they say, oh, well, this may happen, this may not happen. Now, yes, brother Fast Nickel, I do believe the intent is obviously to get us on a new currency, a new standard. That's what they did for World War II, World War One, and now this war. But I think in this war, there's a big plot twist that these nations aren't really aware of, and that's the Most High. I believe that that's the biggest plot twist.
They never take him into consideration.
Mm-mm. Exactly. And what's with the B-52s and Diego Garcia? Remember, they stationed the B-22s when? They stationed them last month. Remember, they've been sitting there for about a month? They sat them there for a month because they knew what was going on. They knew the plan. Now you're going to see the plan in action. With that plan being in action, look, I don't know how things are going to look. All I can tell you is I'm going to be here until either a cyber attack, either an EMP, or they try to deport me, or disappear me, however that's going to happen. I'm going to let you all know what's going on. Because again, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than us. And yes, we are seeing Bible prophecy taking place. And that's truly an awesome thing to witness. I was getting ready here to take some notes about an opportunity that was going on because lo and behold, all of a sudden on the continent, things are moving in a tremendous way. But we knew that that was going to happen. We knew that that was going to happen the moment we got that container out. Do y'all realize the moment that that container was out was like this thing started to go crazy? But what did that do? That opened the door. Because our brothers and sisters on the continent could see this is for the medical supply, the shipping container. Well, thanks for supporting the medical shipping container if you didn't know what that container was. You can help when getting the container moved from Ghana to Burkina Faso. We're still raising funds for that. Let me put that on in here so you all know, since obviously there has been a disconnect with that understanding. Yeah, there was a reason for that. Look, I didn't know. The Most High just said, say it, talk, move. We have to be obedient to his word, no matter how uncomfortable it is. I know. But maybe, just maybe, there's a blessing in our obedience. Maybe, just maybe. We didn't know how big that container was. Maybe, just maybe, that container was bigger than the Israelite community. Maybe, just maybe, that container was bigger than the African Diaspora Committee, or excuse me, community. I'm starting to get tired now. It's past 6.
Guess what?
What's up?
Senate just passed the stablecoin bill.
All of a sudden.
So now the stablecoin bill for crypto, listen, crypto is going to take off.
There you go. All in the guise of what? Of World War III. See that?
They don't pass the genius bill about 30 minutes ago.
As things are looking crazy, not a coincidence. So what do you think, Brother Fast Nickel? What's your predictions now?
Starting July,
Since the
starting
Cocoa
July, you're
Tuesday
going to see.
begins. Oh, man. They're doing everything all at once. Everything all at once. It's crazy.
Everything for July.
Well, yeah, but you have to prime out July at least a month out. That's you
Right.
see what I'm saying? This was the timing. Why do you think they did that June?
That show, the Dog and Pony Show.
Yep. And now as the dollar then gets weakened because it's still weakening, now you have, okay, here comes Bitcoin. We already saw that. Trump said he was going to do what? Push in $12 billion? I mean, like, come on. Not going to hear the end of it from Fast. Yeah, there it is. Just, hook a brother up just a little bit, or, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I mean. Oh, my goodness.
Hey,
But yeah,
in all
go ahead.
seriousness, like I'm happy for the short term, but this is not good news long term.
Exactly. I want to ask you this, brother Fats Nickel.
Go ahead.
Would we be able to use a coin for land development projects,
So when you say a coin,
like a crypto, like a token? Could you tokenize?
well, everything
Whenever
is
you,
being tokenized.
mm-hmm.
So at I guess at some point, property is going to. I mean, that's what BlackRock is in the works of doing.
Yep, I know. Hmm. Oh boy. So here it is again. Their actions speak louder than words, and their actions are based off of what? Money and finance. And brother Fats Nickel, what is that? That's literally what? Two or three witnesses? I mean,
Two or three witnesses.
I mean, for real. It's like, man, okay.
But one thing that people who don't know uh, should know. Yes, crypto is gonna play a force, but it's not like crypto is going to be the only game in town. There'll still be stocks. There's still going to be traditional finances at, uh, asset classes at work. What the plan is to merge everything into one so that you can basically, like you're a cook, you go to your cabinet, I want to use a little crypto, I want to use a little stocks. Like they want to, because at the end, it's all about control. They want to make sure they can control and know what you're doing it with everything.
Absolutely. So if you all didn't check out Brother Fats Nickel on Friday on Teo Ministries, please check that broadcast on out so you understand how to try to position your wealth. This isn't financial advice, but it helps you to understand your options. Check out Brother Fast Nickel. He will be able to provide that guidance, that clarity.
Thank you. And I don't claim to know everything, but we definitely know that things are brewing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So again, we literally do have a corridor that's being built up as we speak. We actually have options that the Most High is providing us, but it doesn't work without you all support. Right now, with this container fund is one of many initiatives that we have in Q2A. The mission of Q2A just doesn't start and begin with the container. We also need your support for our general fund. But this container, it is on the water. It is getting ready to be received by the government of Burkina Faso. And yes, they are ready to receive that thing. I had a message from them this morning. I had to address Alf from the live after the live. He had asked, he said, hey, the DHL, it didn't have the documents. One of the documents, I said, wait a second. No, the certificate of value is the same as the declaration of value. Oh, they are on it. They are on it. Because here's the thing, they want us to succeed. Do you know what that really means? To trust someone? That builds trust. That's just not a talk game. White supremacy was all about the talk game. Talk the talk, but never walk the walk. We have the opportunity to talk the talk, walk the walk, and show how good we talk the talk and walk the walk. Thank you, Stepping Stones to Home. Oh, it's happening right now. Oh boy.
You know, though, what's interesting, this has been going on for a couple, since Saturday
Mm-hmm.
or Friday.
Thursday
Friday.
night. Friday.
Yeah, Thursday
Yes.
night. Yeah, Thursday night. So it's been going on for 5, 6 days. And really, the world has not really spoke
React.
out about this.
They don't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. If you say the wrong thing,
You're picking a side.
bingo. In the most perplexingly polarized position ever. Mick Jagger. Yeah, what can they say? Nobody can say anything. If you say one thing, you're anti this. You say another thing, you're anti that. You don't know where. Look, just don't be anti self. At least know where you stand. If you don't know where you need to stand or where they're trying to put you in a box. And Minnie says, they are hiding the info, and they are hiding the info. I understand that people don't. In our community, oh, we're definitely paying attention to this. This is what we have had countless hours, days, weeks, years of study on this one. So this is interesting. Yeah, shalom, brother Ator. Glad to see that you all are doing well on the continent. I pray that everything is ready for us to be there because looks like we're going to be there sooner than later. Don't worry. All we need is just some tarps and sticks, and we're going to make it work. Tarp sticks and maybe some bed sheets just so we can, put straw on that bad boy for, a pillow. Something. We'll make it work.
Brother Karras, you might have to bring out your anti-captivity spray again.
No. Yeah, for real. That will need to happen. I don't know. I think, look, they had it. That was a limited purchase. That was a limited offer. If I do an anti-captivity spray, that sucker's gonna be $499.95. I'm sorry. Look, that's because them labels from China. Those are tariff costs.
Those labels from China.
that's the tariff cost. Y'all done Trump done ran me out of my anti-captivity spray business. All right, brother Fast Nickel. Any final comments?
No, I just look forward to your next show. And what butter are we gonna put on the popcorn next?
Exactly. Look, 13 hours is a long time in,
A lot
World
could
War
happen.
IIIville. That's what I'm saying, man. Be getting alerts.
Yeah,
Look.
I'm gonna keep an eye on what's going on in crypto with this genius bill.
Mm-hmm. Time to make the move. Time to make a move. So, how much Bitcoin can $5 get me?
You know what? Believe it or not, I would tell, and this is not financial advice. Bitcoin right now is about 104. Let me tell you exactly. As we speak, Bitcoin is $104,000. If you can have 1% of a Bitcoin, so if you can have $1,000 worth of a Bitcoin, at least you're gonna do well because the institutions are buying up the Bitcoin, and when they buy it, they remove it off the exchanges. And what people have to understand, Bitcoin is a limited supply. So as the institutions buy it, because here's what's happening. So a couple of we know it's all manipulated, but what some of these stock powerhouses are doing is they are mentioning, so it's kind of called news trading. So what they're doing is they are letting people know that they're buying Bitcoin, or they're buying it like 100,000 or $100 million worth of Bitcoin, or $100 million worth of Ethereum. And what that's doing is their traditional stock is going up 300-400%.
Mm, that's some.
So buying it and holding it, there's going to come a point within the next, because I mean it's expected to be done by 2039, but the more and more that they buy it, the more scarcer it becomes. So, like
Mm-hmm.
I said, $1,000 worth is going to be good.
Mm. Well,
But
yeah.
everybody knows quant and XRP. You want to have at least one quant. Quant is $100. You want at least one quant. Quant is going to make a lot of money.
All
Quant is
right.
actually more limited than Bitcoin.
Okay. All right. Brother Fast Nickel, if you want to drop your YouTube page in the chat, let folks know where they can find you. So you can at least get ready for this new world currency in the new world order.
So I'll let everybody know that I'm having a July Q&A on Mondays. And what I will do is anyone who signs up today, I will give a portion of that to Brother Karras.
Oh, appreciate it. Appreciate it. You could use that to open up my crypto my crypto wallet. Oh, but no, yeah, family. This is really the time that we need to start thinking about these things, training on these things. Sister Batea, I'll play her intro tomorrow. She has a webinar tomorrow tomorrow around 8 or 9. I'll have to give you the details, but I'll get you those details. They're in my earlier show if you want to uh, peruse through there. In the intros, she will give you that breakdown in her commercial. So yeah, and unfortunately, you're right. Demona is where all the black folks live, right by the nuclear power plant. Surprise, surprise. So you know, so you just have to kind of go from there. But with that said, um, Looks like Taya and Yakoba are going to be on in less than 2 hours. So I'm going to get on Alpha here, get settled, and I'll see you on over in the Anglo-Saxon mission on Teo Ministries.
Shalom, brother.
All right, shalom. And with that said, family, with that, please be careful. Please be safe. You know, the breakdown, just to give you the recap, not only did you have Trump saying we, but now you had a nuclear power plant on fire. You had bases and diplomats being told that they're on high alert and that they need to shelter in place. You even had the passage of cryptocurrency within the Senate. Because why? Because they're trying to push things through for this new crypto-based digital currency, the new digital dollar. Money shows you where and how things are moving. If you don't know, you have to literally follow the money. You have to follow what is being told. You have to follow what is being said. And not just what's being said, follow what they do, because honestly, it's their actions that speak a whole lot louder than their words. Shall we talk? So with that said, please be safe. I don't know what this will bring. I don't know what will actually occur, because I can tell you this, just with my military brain, my military knowledge and understanding, that once you target Iran, whatever cells that they have over here in the United States, whatever rogue entity that they have over here, they will be activated. And then that will be a different scenario. So with that said, family, most I will, and I'll see you back tomorrow tomorrow morning, and we'll review what's taken place within the last 13 hours. So with that said, family, be blessed. Shalom.